Hey everybody, Camp Capital here with a video on Tesla. Basically been making them every single day now as they're pretty popular. But Tesla had a down day today, closed at 719.69, down 3.28%. We did push into that 750 area where I think 749 was actually the high from the previous day. Looked for that to break to move to the upside. But this is the second time we've pushed that 750 level and kind of been beaten down. Right, so we had the 749 mark here from last Friday, and then we sold off of that over the weekend, and then 750s again sold us off. So now it looks like 750 could be acting as that overhead resistance area going into Friday and into next week into earnings. But here chart, kind of just mild downtrend all day, bounced off the 730s, and then capital gains tax news comes out, sells us off, got that one bounce. I mean, this hour move right here was identical to the overall markets. All the S&P plays look like that. AMC even had a similar, chart structure in that hour, right? So 3 big candles, a pullback, and then downward continues. Got that bounce off 11, but couldn't reclaim the moving averages, couldn't get back over that 730 level. 729 actually acting as resistance right at that standard Eve mark. Also that point of control at 730 as well. Sells us off, and then here kind of sideways now after hours back in that 715 area, 717, 720, which had been prior support and resistance for Tesla. So kind of been range bound this week between 715 and we got down to 698 that one day, putting the hammer in, but we're getting kind of sideways now. So right, so we had the downtrend kind of consolidating under 700. Now we broke that overhead resistance, and now we're just kind of sitting on it, consolidating, moving sideways. So we'll look to see if we can make a move going into the rest of the week here. Just looking at volume, right? So you can see sitting basically right on the next volume shelf line here, 715, 720s. Extended, obviously 680. This point of control is moving higher now as the chart keeps progressing. A lot of that volume still sitting under that 696 level, 698 where we bounced off of yesterday. So I think we do have a great downward support at 700 level, just to call it a psychological level at 700 instead of 698. So we'll have to look and see how Tesla opens tomorrow. I do think that it's probably going to follow the overall market. And with that capital gains news coming out midday, when midday news comes out, it usually does have an additional effect overnight and into the next morning. So my guess off the top of my head is that tomorrow is probably going to be another red day for the market. We got back close first thing this morning to being within range of striking distance of all-time highs, and then pretty significant move down. Didn't really get a 50% retracement on that move, and kind of closed basically in that consolidated level from where we were at prior this week. So if Tesla follows the stocks market going down, I'm going to look for 700 area as a place to buy a bounce. So that's my downside play. And then obviously here, daily chart wise, I've talked about before, inside bar, right? So the body of this candle is inside the prior candle, so you call this a mother bar or whatever you like terminology, right? But so you can typically go, so if we gap down, get open below 719, I might look to short it down to $700 and then look for that bounce at 700, right? Look for that reversal, and then say something some great news comes out tomorrow or something, and we move higher and gap above the open, which I think is very unlikely, but could happen. Then look to take out the high of the day, 753, back to that 750 range. But I think we might gap lower. So if we gap lower, I'm looking for the short till 700 on the bounce. But if we find a level that holding, 17's holding, they've acted as resistance support before. If those 17's hold, look to go long, taking out the open from today's candle as well. So those are just two candlestick plays that you could be looking for on the daily side of things. On the weekly side, look at here. So bam, 4 days this week, perfectly formed a doji. So a lot of indecision this week, basically trying to do a new price discovery for Tesla. And you can see the doji, even the wicks, are still inside last week's candle. So last week's candle was that break of this resistance, right? You can call it 78.6 fib, where we sold off of. So the break of that caused the extended move, and now we're just trying to decide whether or not we want to keep using that as an area of resistance or support. Right now we're using that support. So that forming this doji right now in the weekly, I say it is pretty likely that we will probably at least test this 78.6 fib tomorrow, so 708. So that could be, your first area to look to go long, maybe down that $700 area. So just gonna have to watch the tape on where the strength's at on the bid ask, and at what those levels between 708 and 700 going into tomorrow. So I think the capital gains tax news kind of put a damper on the entire market. So I was kind of hoping, Tesla would probably get above this, 764 up to this 780 candle for its earnings next week. But I think that's kind of unlikely now. We could sit between 750, 700 for its earnings, and then probably have a dramatic move off those earnings, because there's been reports, Tesla's got elevated, orders. I think the one article I saw said they had 1 million orders they expect to fulfill this year. And then NIO's CEO, obviously a Chinese competitor, came out today and said that China's regulations actually help Tesla probably more than anybody, which is also positive news. But even with that, like, the Chinese media has still been bashing Elon Musk. Like, he even tweeted about it yesterday. You can go find his tweets; they're pretty good. But pretty interesting times coming up for Tesla in the next couple of days. So we obviously got options in place for tomorrow, and then Monday we got its earnings. So could be pretty volatile swings in either direction tomorrow and Monday. So be ready, have your stops in place, be ready to manage your risk and reward, and hopefully you come out on top. So that's what I got for you guys on Tesla. Appreciate you taking time to watch the video, and we'll see you in the next one.